All right, so on this one, it's four-way play. My dog, Ron, is going to hopefully make a catch here. Time's ticking down. I'm gonna try to get a throw off here, and time will probably expire as I make that throw, but I'm gonna try to hit that one and then get a roller into that zone over there, the far zone. Hopefully it'll stay up long enough for my dog, Ron, to grab it.
We have 3 zones open.
3 zones open. 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Oh man, horrible throw.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Look at how long that roller stands up. Look at that. All right, so this is a new, I'll let Jack talk.
I got 2 discs left. I'm gonna try to get that catch in that zone over there, and then this zone is also open, so I wanna try to hit that, but I'd like to pick up the sweet spot bonus with only 2 discs and 2 throws. As the rules state, disc in the air is not gonna get you that sweet spot, but if I can hit a roller to get this last zone, hopefully I can get the sugar rush, sweet spot, and the bonus points for this disc. Here we go.
5, 4, 3,
Yes.
2, 1, time.
Nice. Sugar rush.
All right. So, how's it going, everybody? Ron Watson, Pawsitive Vybe, host of Disc Dogger Weekly. Just hanging out here, testing out some live stream stuff. This is my first shot at live streaming. We'll see how that goes. Just did a test on Facebook and got my Zoom stuff working for classes. Fingers crossed this is going to go okay. So we just watched rollers at the end of the round in Up Dog. Pretty spiffy move to gain some extra points, eke out another zone or 2 or another catch. That last piece, that last few seconds of that sugar rush throw. Let me pull that back up. Let me pull that back up. We'll go way to the end. So these last couple seconds here. This is a new skill or a new application within UpDog. Jack is going to fire off the roller. Time, dog, handler, and disc in the sweet spot. At the T in time, we get the sweet spot. That new application just hit this year. The rules were just recently changed, and that allows us to actually get like a sugar rush in for agility. At the end of the round, you know, coming down, we can only have 1 disc in our hand, nothing in the sweet spot, and fire off a roller and get the sweet spot and still have a live disc going. That is super, super cool. I've seen it used a few times this year, and it's gotten people a few extra points. So figured I'd give UpDog a little bit of a push. I really dig the organization. It's super fun. We're doing a judging class right now. Got some new players that are ready to fire up clubs in the maritime area of Canada and also out in Southern Cal. So you Southern Cal people, you're going to have some UpDog out there soon. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of run through some videos, try and talk about some of the stuff that I've written recently, explore this application and see if I can't figure out how to make things work. So let's see. Let's go ahead. I want to. So one of the things when we're playing with our dogs, we hang out and we have this plan. This grand plan, we draw it out on paper, right? Draw it out on paper. Got to drop here, gonna go over here, gonna do this thing, right? Looks something, you know, crazy like that. And then we get out on the field and we're just nowhere close. Just nowhere close, right? Like our imagination doesn't fit what actually happens on the field. And what I've been working on of late is to create some forms, the Disquando forms, to replicate what happens on the field. And one of the forms in particular, the four hands form, really, really cool. If you do it well and you think about it a little bit, you get good at it. You can start to imagine what happens on the field, right? And when your imagination gets working and you go out on the field and it doesn't look the same, you come back, you work the form a little more with your imagination in mind, and you take it back out to the field. And eventually, hopefully, something like this happens. So here, up top is imagination throwing at the net. And in the big screen is what it actually looks like with Epi. And I'm going to play this a couple times. I think it's really important. And if you notice, all of those throws, they're within about a quarter second. Here we go again. So we're lined up. Epi's looking in. You can see the same position in both of these. I make the throw. Right in the top corner, I'm throwing up at the number 2 slot of my net. And then I load up, and I'm loaded up again, and I make the throw, the sidearm throw, to Epi out there. And I actually intended, right, I just released the blue, I got the yellow getting ready to go. I intended to test my imagination in this round. And what we can see here, the blue is out, and the yellow and the pink is out. Right? Here he comes across, I'm leading him, that push throw, and there's the push throw. So my imagination is tracking really close with reality. And I think that idea of doing work and doing good work, where you're trying to imagine what's happening, is really important. Another place I think this is important is with people who are training, right? People walk through the routine, right? And they go out before the round and they walk through the routine. They do this, they do that, they do this trick, they do that trick. It's part of their ritual. And a friend of mine does that ritual like exactly, like 100% perfectly, or she tries to. And hey, what's up, Inca the Dragon? Welcome from Canada. So my friend who does that perfectly, she goes out and she works her skills like exactly as she sees them and feels them on the field. There's a bit of a problem, though, I think, in that I don't think her imagination always matches reality. So she goes out there and does this perfect walkthrough, or what she thinks is a perfect walkthrough. And she drills it, and it becomes muscle memory. Her walkthrough is, I mean, it is like really, really precise. Like it's exactly the same all the time. The issue is that the reality on the field is not that perfect. Her imagination isn't close enough. And so I think it's important for you to start to imagine what you're doing on the field, and then to try and make what you do on the field and what you imagine come together so they're one. At that point in time, you can do the perfect walkthrough, and it'll be a perfect walkthrough. So I have a piece on the blog. I'll link it after. You know what? I'll link it right now. How about that? I think I can do that. Go live stream. Wow, I had no idea. You know, the imagination, putting your imagination in your training. Yeah, absolutely. Drop them and I will hit on it. No problem. So the imagination in your training. First of all, where's your dog at? Right? The hardest thing about putting shit together on the field is knowing where your dog is at, right? Like, you think the dog is going to be exactly right there, and then the wind takes a disc, the dog misses the disc, you throw too high, you throw too low, and now the dog's out of position. So not knowing where your dog is at is like a big problem. That's where most of our bubbles are burst. Like everybody's got a plan till everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face, right? And everybody does have a plan until the dog winds up out of position. So practicing where you're practicing finding your dog and doing a really good job of imagining where your dog is at, and then testing that with reality and getting closer and closer to something that approximates the truth or the reality that happens on the field. I think that's really important. Imagination meet reality. When your imagination starts to bump into reality, you start to learn things, right? Instead of running into a brick wall with your imagination. Wouldn't it be nice if one day your imagination bumped into reality and you found that they matched? It really is nice. That little video I showed over there totally does that. If you have good imagination and you're physically and strategically competent in what you're doing, you're gonna do really well. You're gonna have a terrific round. You're gonna have a terrific career. Doing simple things, stance shifts, right? Stance shifting is everywhere. And so are crosses. And it's something I talk about a lot, and I don't think people have the... I don't think they have the patience to deal with it, right? Like, why would I want to do that? It's so silly, but it's so huge. If that becomes automatic, now you have more intellectual and brain bandwidth that you can dedicate to reading your dog, figuring out where your dog is at, responding to adversity, paying attention to the wind, right? If you don't know how to stance shift, or you don't do that particularly well, or you don't do that automagically, then it's really tough to dedicate bandwidth to the wind or to reading your dog, right? A lot of people don't even know that they should be reading their dog. They're too busy picking up frisbees, right? So imagination, intent, and competence. These three things are completely key to success in any endeavor. You have to have imagination. You have to have the intent to apply that imagination. You have to have the competence to deliver. And I don't think those things are on very many people's radar. They should be on yours. The Disquando and the stuff we're teaching here at Pawsitive Vybe is designed to do exactly that. Like it is designed to give you competence, to ask you to imagine, and to create intent to do the same thing over and over again. And I think it's a really awesome program. You guys should check it out. Patreon.com/pvybe. Become a patron, get access to class, goodies, ebooks, and access to me. So you should do that. Let's see. Ink of the Dragon, you are welcome to fire off a question. I'm totally down on that. I'm just riffing here. I'm gonna throw down some stuff. You know, I'm half tempted to show that imagination video again. I think it's really cool. That was 2 separate sessions right back to back where I imagined Epi's performance and delivered it. You know, I think that's super important. Let's check out this these Epi being savage, some savage epic tricks. Right on. We can talk about that Ink of the Dragon as soon as Epi's done being all savage. Awesome. I want to see that. Yep. Boom. Look at the separation. 5 feet. Go Epi. All right. So let me see here. Let me see if I can do something cool. So I'm going to pull up. Oh, come on. Oh, look at that. Add to broadcast. Boom. And sorry, I'm new with this. It's the background, style, fixed position. I want text color. How do I get the text color? Typeface. Oh, come on. Maybe that'll work. Not quite. Good luck. Okay, I bet you if I change the color of that. Background. No background. Gosh, there's got to be color, right? Maybe that'll work. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, I'm working on it here. This is new stuff for me. Hello there. Good morning. No. Oh, geez. Automatic width. Ooh, we'll do updog font. That might be helpful. Maybe. All right, so my disc dog has recently been running away from me on the field to get to other humans' frisbees. Can be adults or kids playing. She'll zone in on their discs. Okay. Oh, man. So, markers in your play, generally speaking. Markers super important. The dog knowing that they're successful, achieving each step of the way. Super helpful for keeping a dog engaged. Dog is perhaps frustrated or confused with what they're doing with you, and kids and new people are super easy, right? So most people don't mark very well, and most people don't communicate consequently. So markers, the cued drop or the drop, when the drop happens, a marker there, the moment the dog drops, yes, and then we're moving again. It's very possible to send the dog around, yes, make the throw as a cookie, they make the catch, yes, make the drop as a cookie, yes, I activate as a handler, cookie. You'd be an idiot to leave that game, right? You'd be not very smart to leave that game. I've watched people play with their dogs for 2 minutes and have great play and tell the dog they did a good job 3 or 4 times in that 2 minutes. And literally the dog did 60, 80, 100 proper behaviors. So I think marking is super important. As far as recovery goes, so a lot of times when the dog takes off for the grass is greener, anything the grass is greener, right? Essentially, that's what's happening. Anytime the dog takes off for grass is greener, the handler activates. Oh my gosh, come here, come here, come here. Here, 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 right? And awesome. That's super cool. So the dog leaves, right? And when the dog is leaving, the handler is the most animated that they could be, or that they have been while they're playing. And so between the possibility of getting, scoring a kid's disc or finding someone to play with them, and the high engagement or the high energy level that the handler delivers when the dog leaves, it can be really enticing to go. So when the dog leaves, just say nothing and wait for confusion, fear, or boredom. Confusion, fear, or boredom. And keep in mind, this has got to be done. I'm sure you're playing around people who are dog savvy. Dog leaves, do nothing. When you get confusion, fear, or boredom, or the dog looks at you, dog looks in, yes, roller in the other direction. Yes, bite, right? Confusion, fear, or boredom, recall. Dog starts coming, yes, roller, yes, bite. Roller could be a problem because the reinforcement will happen far away from you, but the bite on you, that's a really good one. But you want to stay cool while the dog is doing the bad thing, and then get animated when the dog starts to fix it. So being consequent when the dog checks out, I think that's really important. Another thing that's pretty important is dismissal, right? You tell the dog to go do dog stuff, you're off limits. When you take the field with a Frisbee, you're never off limits. You're always like, play with me. You have to play with me, especially if the dog is checking out to go play with kids. Play with me, play with me, play with me. And you're a booty call. You're always there. So the adults or the kids, they're like talent at the club, you know. They got a booty call at home. I'm going and playing with the club. Yeah. Yeah. When she sees the other disc, she starts whining, shaking, eventually exploding into full speed. More bites, more throws, more clarity, more markers. Yes, twist. Around, yeah, successful behaviors, right? Ink of the Dragon says use of intermediate bridge behaviors. Yeah, but just any successful behavior. Make sure that she knows she's correct each time. And then each of those correct behaviors can be used to throttle down and challenge that anxiety state. So one of the things I like to think about with behaviors that I mark, a downhill skier, right, has to go through gates, right, but they just friggin' haul ass down the hill, right, and they do have to make a couple turns, but all they care about is the stoke. I would be flat in my cue and sharp in my marker. So the downhill racer goes flying down the hill, right? And they're all about the stoke. So, you know, that could be your dog, right? All I want to do is go fast. All I want to do is get the Frisbee, right? The slalom racer pretty much does the same thing, but the gates are really important, right? Each gate must be navigated and must be made, and they're challenging to make. And so even though that slalom skier really wants to go fast, they wind up much more sedate, thoughtful, strategic, tactical. They're not that adrenaline junkie that, you know, the downhill skier is. And they can't be, because they have to navigate each gate. I call it gating, right? So when you're offering behaviors to do, you can throttle her through them as if they're slalom gates. Twist, yes, easy. Don't whip out the Frisbee. Twist, yes, get the Frisbee. Spin, yes, get the Frisbee. Through, wow, that's amazing. Twist, yes, get the Frisbee. Nice, easy. If you tamp your stuff down, the dog will tamp their stuff down. So a few things to think about there. That also will go a long ways towards keeping the dog on the field when you have 5, 10, 12 seconds of downtime, right? Between skills, right? A cued drop, super important. Mark the drop, yes. And then we go. And now the dog knows they're correct. They look to you for their cookie. You deliver a cookie that's movement-based, that's interaction-based, that isn't a disc. And now the dog is on point. Cool? So question is, if she's been developing a recent history, should I be practicing in near zero distraction environments to reset the scoreboard, desensitize the other people, and then slowly re-enter the distraction? I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of flat building up from flat is really hard, right? A client of mine has a reactive dog. Dog's reactive on just about any lone object that comes up, and has been treating it as traditional reactive dog stuff. And we identified that it isn't really reactivity, it's novelty, right? And so her very protocol of going out and trying to ensure that it was a sanitary, low-intensity environment was setting the dog up to be more crazy when something novel happened. On every walk, a half hour through the park, right? Just chill, everything's cool. Something fucking novel's gonna pop up, and the dog's gonna freak out about it, right? And you know, the answer I think is probably shorter sessions, better reinforcement, better communication, success. A really good punisher of boom pow crate, of cessation of the game. Very, very, like a good negative punishment, right? Or if you think your dog thinks that you're putting the crate on him, well, you know, it's positive punishment. But we can pretend that it's negative punishment. But a real good quit on a situation, also really good. You can't recover from that though. You can't get another rep on it. I'm not a big fan of taking it down to flat, getting performance, and then building up. I'd rather I'd rather deal with a medium intensity, something just under threshold, and do really good work for 30 seconds, leash a dog up, and repeat. A couple more things on this, and then I'm going to run another video, and we can pick up on this in just a second. The early criteria of coming off the people, really important. Really important that you don't wait until the dog leaves the sideline. You could be, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. You don't want to do that, right? And keep in mind that every time you do that, every time you interrupt her, you make the kids more exciting. You make the kids more awesome. So I think early release criteria, right? So dog is checking out a kid, like, give me your Frisbee, man. And the dog releases and kind of looks towards you. Yes, roller. Yes, bite. And it doesn't matter if the dog doesn't come to get it. It doesn't matter. If you mark and offer a cookie, right? Offer a cookie, the dog... oh, is there? That's funny. If the dog comes off the kids, give the cookie. Fire that cookie out, right? A lot of times in this situation, the dog comes off the kids for a moment, right? And the handler says yes and goes, oh, the dog's not going to take it. And so the dog came off the kids, got the marker, or didn't get the marker, and looks, and the handler's doing nothing. You can't leverage a cookie you didn't offer. Dog comes off the kids at all. Yes, boom, pow, fire out that roller. Yes, offer the bite. Dog decides not to take it away. You'll get another chance when the dog releases from the child again, or releases from the sideline. And the early behaviors, the early release. The hardest thing is first leaving the kids, or first leaving the people, and it never gets reinforced. No handlers reinforce until the dog is almost at them. And by that time, you know, well, I've come a whole long way and I haven't got a cookie yet. Let me go back and play with the kids, right? But hopefully some of that will help. And, you know, if you have any video and want to share it on the dojo, you're welcome to. I'd take a look at it and give you a little advice. And sorry about the delay. I don't know how any of this is working. So I'm gonna okay, so check this out. I'm gonna pull up this video of Soda Pop, and Soda Pop is a 1-year-old poodle. He doesn't really know how to do anything except go and get frisbees. He just started to bring him back right before we played this. Yeah, I think it's so funny. We'll do Soda Pop in a second. I dismiss my dog, go do dog stuff. I dismiss the dog so that I have the opportunity to capture reorientation and engagement. And what happens is I dismiss the dog in antiseptic, lame environments in my home field, go do dog stuff. We get hot shit, get on, get hot, get off, right? Go do dog stuff. And then the dog checks out, doesn't want to check out in this environment, walks around, looks to me, yes, and then we play again. The looking to me and coming off the environment initiates play again. And so that becomes a habit, and I reinforce the initial release of the environment. So that's very strong. And when that is very strong, it's more likely to happen. That's what reinforcement does. If I wait until the dog comes all the way to me, or I call the dog to me all the time, or I interrupt the dog and recall, right? I don't get that reinforcement of the early portion. The hardest part of the re-engagement process is initially releasing the environment. I don't get that. So I like to purposefully dismiss, go do dog stuff. That means I'm off limits. And then when the dog is off limits, then the dog reorients. I mark yes. And the dog learns very quickly that the way to get interaction with me is to reorient. Not to go and run and get kids, right? And then that active reorientation gets stronger and stronger. When they run into a kid, they might run off, but they're very quick to come off, and they have a history of coming back and getting their cookies. And I think that kind of deals with that question of should the things you're describing be taught as strengthening the skill set, but doing separate desensitization sessions. I think it should be thought of as strengthening the skill set, and it should be done in separate, I don't even think they're desensitization, in separate shaping sessions. You should shape engagement. You can't have engagement without disengagement. You have to take control over disengagement, and then you can free shape and capture engagement. And I think that's the best way to establish a sound base for engagement. All right, let's check out Soda Pop, and keep in mind that Soda Pop is a young poodle,
How's it going? Ron Watson, Pawsitive Vybe, host of this
and he's gonna want to go, go, go. Notice that I don't interact with him until he settles in front of me. I'm not making him do anything. I'm not trying to fix it.
Pause with a cause. Wait. So he doesn't have many skills. He can bring the
I set up the situation. He doesn't do it. I chill. There it is.
So he wants to move. Catch. Boom, pow. I'll make that toss. Good work, handsome. Come on, Superman. Yeah, look at it. Ouch. And I'm going to do the flat work compass with him. Yes, I'm going to try and install a trigger on him. So you can see him bouncing around, being real excited.
Well, if you just do the same thing with the rollers,
Contrast that with Epi.
you'll have that
Wait, right there.
problem for life. What you want to do is reinforce the early expressions of reorientation, re-engagement, and then build that up and up the ante and start rewarding with action when the dog is likely to do it.
He's not timing.
I give lots of non-discrete cookies,
I'm timing to him.
handler activation, the next trick.
And trying to put.
Those things are really, really powerful motivators.
And I'm going to wait for him to look. And
You're the cookie, not the disc. And what you're going to see here, right now, Soda Pop thinks I'm the cookie. or I'm sorry, thinks the disc is the, look at him. He's running around with it. Look, I got the cookie. I don't give a shit. Right?
Yes.
He drops. Yes. Now I activate.
For a weight. Come on, handsome. Yes.
Right? I have the live toys.
Hitting the ground, I'll mark that.
He settles.
Pose. Wait. Yes. Here's my pose, catch. And now we'll go clockwise pass.
And now I got him.
Yeah,
Right?
look at him. Whoa, that guy. That guy. Look at him. Holy cow. Great work.
When he's doing what I want, I have nice sharp engagement. When he's not, I have nothing.
Out. He's a little spooked by the drone there. Yes, good. And I'll pose and hold. He sits. That's not where I want him. So I'll get him set up. Good. And he's close enough, so I'll adjust to him. Catch. Boom.
That adjusting to the dog's position, really, really powerful.
So that's a compass.
I can get close to that position,
Pass, clock,
and then I adjust,
and what
right? Rather than trying to move him around with the disc and shit, I can just move that tiny little bit and get a nice clean setup.
foundational position.
When that happens all the time, he'll start to settle much more quickly.
Good. And I'm a little stuck on space.
This is the flatwork compass. This is the framework as well.
There.
Each time, he's going to know what's coming.
Wait.
I'm going to sit in front of him, and then he's going to step, and then he's going to throw.
Out front. For anything
Dope, I went too fast.
Yes, wait.
I will sit in front of him, he's going to step, and then he will throw.
Before.
I can't stop, right?
So he's got.
And I don't really care, right?
Pull, he's
And there it is, right? And there comes his cookie.
And he should be waiting for his cookie, right? It's not my job to give him a cookie. It's his job to seize the cookie and take the cookie. Out. Yes. Wait. Yes. Good. And you can see him lining up real quick. Catch. Boom. Pow. What? Holy cow.
And again, just look how fast he's settling in. And I didn't
Yeah, look
I
at
didn't address him at all. I didn't tell him to do anything. I just set it up and waited,
So I'll mark the
and
tee
shaped
off.
it.
Yes. I'll
and make
reinforce
sure I mark it,
lining him up. Yes.
stay nice and patient, and then I deliver.
Boom, pow. Yeah, good man. Oh, it happened. Yeah. Out. Yes. Boom, wait right there. Yes. Catch. Boom.
That little push tells him to go away.
You're slow. Awesome. Right over here.
Yeah, it'll stay up. This stream will stay up.
Out.
I'll type back, it'll probably get to you faster.
Come on. Yes. Catch.
I step forward to the left, it'll be a counterclock throw.
He'll learn that that is push or flank that way and flank that way. And that neutral shift of me pulling will signal the pass. I'll show you. Out. Yes. Catch. Boom. Pow. That'll signal the pass. Yeah. Look at him. Great work.
He just doesn't know what's happening yet, and I take my time and help him figure out what's happening.
Yes. And I'll pose as the cookie. When
You can see he's dancing around, I don't move.
Pow.
I let him settle, then I move.
Awesome. Great work. Woo. Look at him. Good job. Good job. Come here, handsome.
Whoa, that guy. Yeah, so that was Soda Pop, new dog, April's poodle. He's a beast. He's a frisbee. He loves a frisbee. And you could tell that initially he thought that game was all about the frisbee, and it's not. It's about me. I'm the cookie, right? Next is the cookie. The frisbee is the thing that that we use to interact together and to provide next. Let's see. Yeah, Longlines stuff, definitely good. Definitely good, but the shaping and interaction, you know, if you want, you should become a patron, join class, and we'll talk about all this shit, and we'll teach you how to do it. It's really, really, it's really simple, right? You're just going to reinforce, you're just going to shape engagement, right? It's super simple, but it's not easy. And it's definitely not easy to talk about because it's simple. But it is a pretty easy process. I'm sorry, it is a pretty simple process. It's not very complex. Requires some positive training techniques and some good stick-to-itiveness, but other than that, it's pretty solid. It's pretty simple. Let's see. Oh, do I have anything from Soda Pop? No, I'm gonna hit on a multiple. So I wrote this piece the other day about multiples. Multiples have gotten slow, super creative, and like really difficult, but they're slow. And one of my clients I was like, do you do a multiple? And there's some drop problems, some mechanic problems, and a multiple is a great solution to. Yep. Yeah, and I might as well not even say it. Let me just type it. You're exactly right. So this guy has a dog. Dog's got some mechanical problems with the disc. I asked if he did a multiple. And he's like, no, we don't really do a multiple, you know. I mean, we tried a standing multiple, but that was you know, it just wasn't very cool. And it really kind of bugged me, man, because the idea was that I do a multiple because it's cool, right? And I'm not even going to start with the basics of a multiple, the talk, right? Catch it quickly, drop it quickly, catch it quickly, drop it quickly. Or the basics of a juggle, catch it quickly, give it quickly, catch it quickly, give it quickly. I'm going to try and do a juggle on my back, or I'm going to do a juggle while standing on my hinds, right? Or I'm going to try and, I don't know, do some crazy position or movement with the dog before I've even done the multiple. And the multiple has all kinds of terrific applications. So I'm going to pull up over here. Boom, right? So let me see, where's that multiple? What is a multiple? Multiples juggle and shuffle. A juggle is a give, right? Throw it, the dog catches it, give. Dog catches it, give. Give. Multiples, juggle, and shuffle, which is like dealing cards. Pop, 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 pop. The shuffle is a drop. And everyone focuses on the catch, position, creative, crazy shit. When all you really want to focus on is drop, drop, drop. Catch, drop, catch, drop, catch, drop, catch, drop. I throw it, dog doesn't catch it, dog can't drop it. We don't move on. Right? Very quickly the dog learns that they need to catch that shit and they need to hold on to it until they're given the drop cue. That's a huge piece of mechanical knowledge. Absolutely huge piece of mechanical knowledge for the dog to have. Right? Just tremendous knowledge for the dog to have. It goes to carrying the disc at a distance. It reinforces the drop on cue very quickly. It reinforces stability in front of the handler. I mean, all kinds of things. Same thing with the give. You throw it to the dog, he catches it, you hold your hand out, you say give. He puts it in your hand, yes, you throw another one. Give. Now the dog has to catch it in order to give it to you. We get a shit ton of reinforcement on give. It's a stable position. That will hold up. That will hold up at all distances. It's terrific work. So anyway, juggles are about gives. Shuffles are about drops. And if you focus on the give or the drop, that is really the way to do it. Your dog will catch them. The juggle's based off the give and can be thought of as multiple gives in rapid succession. Shuffle's based off the drop. It's multiple drops in rapid succession. let's see, variations, the type of throw. You can get a creative throw. You can put the dog in a creative position. You can do them while they're moving in some kind of moving fashion. Those things come after you have give, give, give. They come after you have drop, drop, drop. Man, we're really good at drop, drop, drop. Okay. Let me do it upside down. Let me do it with funky grip, right? Let's put you on my back. Drop, drop, drop. Drop, drop, drop. Boom, give. Boom, give. Boom, give. Boom, give, 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 give. Right? Now you're cooking with gas, right? But everyone puts the creative cart before the mechanical horse. You got to have the mechanics before you move on. Yeah, and then I do like I do this guy. Right? That's what I did in this article. Slow down. Sidewalks for regular walking, not for fancy walking. Right? Telling them to get off my lawn and shit. But it's true. You got to have the mechanical foundation before you got to have function before you get fancy. And if you do that, when you get fancy, it'll be hot shit. It'll be super fast. It'll be awesome. Get function, then fancy. All right. Ooh, that's a really good article, by the way, that Zen of Disc Dog multiples. But let me throw out this real quick multiple video in Ink of the Dragon. I'll check out what you've been dropping on here, and we'll hit on your stuff again. Cool. Let's watch Epi do his thing. I'll be right back. What I'd like you to notice, so that was a really cool one, right? And it was fast. But what I want you to notice is how clean he catches and how obvious it is he's doing his job. All right, let's hit on these questions. So, if my dog suddenly goes over threshold due to a flood of people at the park, can the rollers lose value because they're now an irritant towards the yummy, novel people suddenly moving close? The answer is no, right? Unless you puke them out there. If you try to bribe the dog with them, it's not going to work. They will become yucky, right? What you want to do is you want to capture a bona fide behavior, mark it, and reinforce it. And if they turn their head up if they turn their nose up at a cookie, they miss the cookie. So the rollers and the bite and interaction with you would only lose value if you puke it out there and give it away. If you ask them to earn it or attach it to a bona fide behavior, that will be it will reinforce what you're looking for. Just take more cookies. I also got a new reactive dog who loves discs. When she stiffens up in the backyard, I yell out disc and she's all mine. Should I be hesitant because the disc can build arousal, increasing the chance of reactivity? I would be careful. So I would use that a couple of times, right? And then I would shape and capture it. I would look at that like a lure. So I'll lure several times until I get what I'm looking for. And as soon as I get what I'm looking for, I want to shape and capture it. Especially if it's a dangerous situation like stiff reactivity. So looks like you got that working. I would set that up or let that happen when it's not going to go poorly, and then I would respond. I would allow it to set up when it's not going to go poorly, and then I would wait for my disc, that yelling at her. I would wait for that time when it would normally happen. She would know that that's coming, and then when she looks at me, then I would scream disc. I would change it from classical to operant. Should I not initiate a game, but rather let the dog explore and take in information about the potential threat? I would save initiating the game for when you need, for when the threat's real, right? It sounds like you've already done a little bit of that, so she's likely to see a threat and look in. If you have a dog looking at you for when they see something scary, they'll be likely to do it. If you have a history of it, they'll be likely to do it. If it's not a scary situation, if it's a novel, easygoing, not a dangerous situation, I would totally shape and capture that and go consequent. And I would practice going consequent in low intensity situations like that. Those are all pretty good questions. Too bad we don't have 100 people on here. That would be worth it. All right, let's see. What else do I got here? All right, I have a couple more videos to share. So I'm going to talk a little bit about blind tosses. There's a law of resonant spins. If you're coming with me, we're going clockwise. You can see that you're coming across clockwise to me. You can see the backhand throw. But if we're going this way, and I turn and throw sidearm, you can't see the throw. And if we're going counterclock, so you're coming this way, right? And that's counterclock. If I throw a sidearm, you can see the throw. If I throw an overhand wrist flip, you can see the throw. This is really critical for new players. If we're going counterclock, if your dog is going from right to left, and you turn here and make the throw, the dog can't see it. And the dog is not going to see it. It's going to hit the wall before you see it. And it's possible it could fly all the way to about where you're going to catch it before you see it. So that's a blind toss. If we're going counterclock, you throw a counterclock spinning throw. That would be a sidearm or an overhand wrist flip. If we're throwing clock, you throw a backhand or a push throw, right? And so I call that the law of resonant spins. I will go ahead and drop a link here. Right? It's called the law of resonant spins. There's the 13. Patrons do not get one-on-one classes, but I mean it's 5 or 6 on 1, right? And we do two weekly classes via Zoom that are as pretty much as interactive as you could get. So you should jump on that. Patrons at the $10 Vice Director and above get access to Disquando, which is our main class, and patrons at the $25 level and above get access to all of my classes. Vybe. So, I thought that would link. So, blind tosses, law of resonant spins. Let's watch this short little quick one with Epi. Oops, that's the wrong one. This is it.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Ron Watson, Pawsitive Vybe, host of Disc Dogger Weekly.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Law of
oh, okay.
spins. Clockwise throws go clock. So you can see this when we go clockwise. We're going clockwise, you can see it. If I throw counterclock, you can't. Epi, here. Lie down. If you're going counterclock, you can see this, but you can't see that. I'm going to demonstrate that on the field. I'll start out by throwing tosses that are visible to the dog. Mackay, catch. Ouse, catch. You can see that he can see that throw the whole way. Ouse, catch.
So from here,
Easy.
easy, Cheetah. You back that up. So he's coming from my right to my left, and he's got a perfect view of that. He's going to see it come right out of my hand, and it's going to go directly to his mouth.
Easy. Yeah, I figured you'd miss
Yeah.
that. I figured
Unless
you'd
he's
miss that.
sprinting.
You should probably slow down a little bit.
Yeah, it probably should, Epi.
Yes, good man. Ouse, catch.
And again, you can see him. He's moving clockwise. He's moving from my left to my right. This is the standard way that disc doggers run. And you can see that he's got a good look at that disc.
Good. Ouse, catch. You can see.
And this is Resonant. Again, he's able to see it.
Good look at that. Right? Here comes a blind toss. Well, I'll get him set out front. Mackay, catch. Ouse.
So he completely can't see that, guys. Right? And not many people do this because they usually throw backhand, right? Usually throw backhand in this situation. But he can't see it until there. And that isn't super far, right? But it's far enough. It's far enough that he had to adjust his line. You could see him curve, right? So here, he completely can't see it. Right? So I'm getting ready to throw it like nearly straight down the web that I'm facing, and he's bumping out. And at the end, he had to curve in. He doesn't know where that disc is going to be. Can't see it. And this is the one that gets everybody in a lot of trouble. Making that backhand throw when the dog is going right to left. When the dog is going counterclock, from your right to left, you want to throw a sidearm or an overhand wrist flip. One of those two needs to be really, really awesome so that you can deliver it perfectly every time. And usually one of them is pretty good for each person. A lot of people like the sidearm. Some people like the overhand wrist flip. One of them needs to be great. And anytime your dog is running from left to right, throw something they can see. Same thing coming this way. Make a backhand. Save the crazy throws for when the dog and the team are really well developed and they know exactly what they're doing and how to catch all their stuff. So, all right, here we go. Let's see. Yeah, I don't recommend, Ink of the Dragon, I don't recommend that young players, inexperienced players flip their dogs before 18 months. I don't have any physical problem with. So during dogs' development, they're well put together athletes sometimes, and sometimes they're not. And if they're not well put together athletes, if they're like, gangly teenagers, like a 6'5", 140-pound teenage basketball player, right? Not the time, right? When they experience growth spurts and they have weird body development, you know, their rear end jacks up or their front end jacks up, or they go from like a certain shape to a different kind of shape, like in those 4 or 5 days seemingly. If the dog is at all gangly or uncoordinated, I don't even play Frisbee with them at that point in time. And there are dogs that never go through that stage, and they get some more, let's say, advanced action. What you want to stay away from, you want to stay away from repetitive stress. Flips are repetitive stress. Flips are about the only thing within Frisbee that you can repeat very closely to the same. You can be within inches of the same exact movement over and over. So Epi at 7 months did probably 3, 4, 5 flips. Did 10, 20 flips at 12 months. Did 15 months. I was kind of running him 15, 20 flips a week kind of thing. He's a real small dog, so he was pretty much done grown at that point in time. But the workload was super, super low. He didn't do any real scale vaults until 16, 17 months. He did go through Vault Foundation. He did jump fairly freely. But his Frisbee workload was super low. Like, we worked 1 or 2 days a week. It was very, very low repetition. You want to keep the reps low, and you want to avoid doing anything with the dog when they're in some kind of awkward development stage. And then young players who are not experienced, should pretty rigidly adhere to the 18-month rule when it comes to flipping and sequencing, like large-scale sequencing work. All right, so I'm going one more video, last thing. Looks like we're going to hit this right on the hour. Just a cool little sequence with Epi. Flip to body roll flip. Really like this trick. Thought it'd be a good one to close with. I really don't like the square picture-in-picture, though.
I love that dog. What's up, handsome? Oh, good work.
Yeah, that dude's a badass. Epi's a badass. All right. So I think that's going to do it. I live streamed. Woohoo! I think video quality wasn't terrible. Had lots of stuff to talk about. Ink of the Dragon, thanks a bunch for your questions. I do appreciate that. You're welcome to jump in anytime. You totally should hook up on the Patreon, though. You're asking some pretty in-depth questions, and it seems like you have a hunger for knowledge. That's what we do. We meet twice a week. We meet on Tuesday afternoon. Actually, we meet 3 times a week. Tuesday afternoon, Disquando. Wednesday, cookie training. Friday night, Disquando. And we go for somewhere between an hour and 3 hours. And we do practical stuff, lots of practical stuff on Wednesday. And if anybody has the ability to do practical stuff in their situation, we can accommodate that. So super awesome. I appreciate you hanging out with me, and you're welcome to come back. Let's see, what can I do? I need a video to. You can So he can see the disc right there. He can see the disc there. He can see it there.
Probably there. Yeah. But he's committed now. But now he's like, you can tell that he's committed. Like he's there. So it doesn't matter if it's blind. That's if he's committed without seeing it, it's blind. And then obviously he can trade. I mean, it's really fast, but he can like, all right, it's
Nah,
there.
he leaves the ground for the target.
He does, but he has committed before. Like he's there.
So
he's going.
he breaks. So he watch my knee.
Yeah.
That's the trigger.
I don't think it's your knee. I think it's your back. Like it's like the knee makes it happen, but I think because he's looking up, I think it's like your knee and then your back.
It's my
Like
knee. Nope, it's my knee where he starts.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's fast, but he doesn't. It's not like he's.
Oh shit! We are live. Funny. That's funny.
Oh, are we?
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey everybody, how's it going? Didn't know there's only one person here, but it is super funny.
All right. I hope I censored myself.
We were it's only been live for 1 minute and 50 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Good. But yeah, that's great.
Yeah, but he's triggering so my trigger is supposed to be my back. But
yeah, that's what
you can
think.
You can see the precursor behavior that I'm unintentionally doing, which is the moving of the knee. I would want that to be the trigger. But we have this precursor behavior right there that's actually setting it up.
I mean, it's you coming down. That's
Yeah.
he reads that it's the beginning, like, oh, it's happening, and he knows it's a back ball, and then the disc. He doesn't need the disc to start it, but it's there. So that's, I mean, it's not the disc that makes it happen. And the throw, yeah, that's a good throw. It goes across your body, like.
Yeah, that's a 2 meter vault toss, dude.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's good.
I wonder if that piece where I was giving people shit for not giving me credit for it is on here. I don't think it is. Yeah, I hope it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't instead of all the Hermes, but I'm out, so I practice, and I'm trying to do. I'm practicing throwing it from the hip, like so really like low, so it actually throws. Just because I can turn and catch it, so I'm not wasting my time. So it's like I throw from the hip, and then I turn, catch, and then I repeat. It's a throw. I don't know how it translates with a dog, but yeah. So I wanted to see how you throw it. I'm sure you did stuff like that, but I didn't expect like things.
Yeah, it is.
Good job, bro.
Yeah, I found that out of nowhere.
Yeah, is it consistent?
What's that?
Can you throw it consistently?
I don't know. I haven't done it. I haven't done it probably since that day. Actually, I got other shit I'm doing.
Okay.
That should be relatively consistent. That's pretty easy. Like there's a lot of time for him to get his shit together.
Yeah, but he hasn't seen it before. But he hadn't seen it before.
He didn't see it before that. That was one of the first times we've done it.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
So the idea of him any vault is easy if the trigger is solid.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, if you can make the throw and the trigger's solid.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, all the factors. But
What's up, Oleg? Oleg's here.
oh, hi. Oh, live. All right. Yeah, it's a good throw, and I'm not gonna try it.
Yeah, I don't need it really either. I'm loaded up. We got USDDN this weekend on Saturday. I was supposed to be out training. I essentially I gotta hit the zigzag, and I just am not. I don't have a nice tight zigzag, and it's fucking million degrees here, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. What? How many throws are you doing? Like 4 different?
Yeah. Well, my plan was to do jazz throw, boom, right?
Yeah.
Flamingo,
Uh-huh.
ninja bounce, that spinning flying push air bounce,
Oh yeah.
and then a left-handed air bounce. But
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna do the jazz overhand wrist flip, easy push air bounce, left-handed air bounce. Because
How far can you float? Can you float them?
I'll probably throw it. I'll probably throw them each 11, 12 yards maybe. But
Yeah.
the whole gig is to set up the. So I'm doing that. Boom. Pow. Boom. Pow. And then I'm sprinting at him. And I'm doing a Yachi vault on the
Okay.
run.
All right. You're not talking about the. I thought you were talking about the zigzag. Okay.
Yeah. So off happy. So I'm sprinting at him after the zigzag, and we're hooking up on the run, and I'm just skipping through it, right? Like we're doing it, and I'm just keeping moving.
Uh-huh.
And I'm gonna pick up the 2 discs laying over there that he dropped.
Uh-huh.
And then by the time he turns and hooks up with me, we're doing the 3-disc epic juggle thing.
Yeah.
So we're doing 4 flips, 2 with the weightless spinny thing in the hand. Right?
Yep.
Boom, 1 flip, wait, and then the brush flip kind of deal. And then another flip, and then I do a builder back fidget that switches the grip, and I throw the jazz throw, overhand wrist flip, push, lefty air bounce. I sprint at him, Yachi vault. I keep moving, and then I wind up over top the discs by the time he lands and comes back to me. And then we go right into the epic juggle. The spinning vault on the run.
Yeah. All right.
And then we go epic juggle, big air bounce out. Like the first 60 seconds just doesn't stop. Like it's.
Yeah.
We do that epic juggle to the stall, off, air bounce. I pick up 4 discs, and we do rebound to back stall to fancy to the under the arm vault to air bounce. It's a real tight sequence.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then I do a couple of flat work moves. So I'll do the hoop, clock, hoop, clock. So an under hoop, caught, and an over hoop, caught. And then rear cross, throw, maybe another rear cross, and then make it rain, and then rebound dog
Oh,
catch.
like a multiple. Like a
Yeah, make it
multiple.
rain multiple, and then
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, big flip, and then I stand up, we rebound dog catch, and if I have time, I'm going to kick him out and go scoot to back stall. Caught back stall.
All right. That's a lot.
So, oh, I forgot. I got to do rut and flip through and flip once.
Yeah. I tried. I saw the video with the multiple. I was like, oh, let me try that.
Dude, that skill
Yeah.
is so critical, man.
Yeah.
It really is. Dude, I found 4 things that it fixes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It stabilizes the dog, stabilizes
Yeah,
the
exactly.
dog in position. It works the drop. It works the catch. But those are kind of, I'm just counting those as one thing. Fuck.
You're looking for a fourth one.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't know.
critical
I did
move,
it.
dude. I don't know.
I did it out of curiosity. I just wanted to see what he's gonna do. And
So
I mean, I'm happy with dropping and all that. But he wouldn't. He wasn't stable. I mean,
he
he didn't
wasn't in
know that.
position. Oh,
Yeah, he
it
didn't know.
teaches the
I
catch.
tried to say,
It
huh?
teaches the catch. So all of our dogs, pretty much all P-Vibe dogs, are epi, or all dogs who don't do a multiple. Essentially, dude, you do not need to be so savage with the water can. Don't be so savage. All of our dogs move when they catch,
Yeah.
right? And
Thanks.
so the catch is not the staying in front of you and catching is collection.
Yeah.
At root, the idea of catching without flying forward is collection. It's critical,
Yeah.
dude. It's a critical skill. I feel like such a dumbass for not fucking working it as a legit
I mean,
skill.
well, it's really boring. So I was like, I never did it.
It
But
isn't though. It isn't.
it's
So hang on.
boring.
It's boring, dude. It's boring if you're playing basketball like fucking what's his name? Philadelphia 76ers. Allen Iverson. It's
Yeah,
boring
right.
to Allen Iverson